during the description document. It is already uploaded on your Teams, so you can see the description document there also. And one more thing is uploaded on the Teams, that is the date-wise lecture schedule. So you can match the dates when your quiz is going to be held and when your unit will be completed. And what are the holidays, everything is there in the calendar. So basically your whole syllabus is divided in 5 units, and these are the takeaways. Takeaways ka matlab outcomes, like after completion of the first unit, what you will get, after completion of the second unit, what will you get, and so on. So basically, if you see the takeaway of the first unit, then after completion of the first unit, you will be able to understand the concept of Java language, how it is different from the other languages, which means the characteristics, main characteristics of the Java language. Then what are the data types you can use in the Java, and then how to declare the variable constant, what is the difference between variable and constant, what are the operators you can use in the Java, what are the unique operators you will find which are different from the other language in the Java, how will you create the expressions and assignments. So these are the takeaways of the unit 1. The detailed description will be there, so you can see the detailed description also. I'm only briefing you the takeaways of each unit. Now in the second unit, you will have introduction to the library functions of the Java, in which we'll focus on mainly 2 libraries. One is the math library, like how you can use the library functions for the mathematical calculations. And another library that we are going to use is the string. The string class we will use to see what kind of operations you can perform on the text data. Fine. Which is not available before Java. It is available with Python, but C and C++ is not having this kind of data. For that, you need to implement the array, but in Java, we have the concept of a string class, and we'll use the text data by using the string class. Apart from that, you will see the conditional statements and looping statements used in Java in the unit 2. Now in unit 3, we'll have the introduction to the functions, how will you create the functions, implementation of the arrays. Now there are various kind of arrays you can use in Java, although you must have used in data structure also. Static and dynamic arrays आपने वहाँ पर बनाए होंगे data structure में, आपने malloc calloc use किया होगा, किया है data structure use करते वक्त memory allocation के लिए.
Yes,
राइट. तो वहां पे क्या होता है, वहां पे आपको डायनेमिक मेमोरी बनाना थोड़ा सा कॉम्प्लेक्स है, आपको वहां पे मैलॉक वगैरह यूज करना होता है. बट यहाँ पर जो है ना, अगर आपको डायनेमिक मेमोरी बनानी है तो बहुत सारे डेटा स्ट्रक्चर्स ऑटो इम्प्लीमेंटेड है यहाँ पर, तो आपको वो लाइब्रेरी पता होनी चाहिए एंड यू कैन यूज दैट लाइब्रेरी, यू कैन डायरेक्टली इम्प्लीमेंट दैट डेटा स्ट्रक्चर. तो आई टेल यू 2 टाइप्स ऑफ एरेज ओवर हियर. एक तो आपको स्टैटिक एरे बनाना बताऊंगी और दूसरी आपको एरे लिस्ट बनाना बताऊंगी बाय यूजिंग दी लाइब्रेरी. आपको डेटा स्ट्रक्चर की एक लाइब्रेरी बताऊंगी जिससे यू कैन डिजाइन दी डायनेमिक एरे ऑल्सो without using and without having so much of burden. Fine. Apart from that, we'll revise the concept of recursion. वहाँ पे भी आपने recursion use करा होगा, हम Java में भी देखेंगे कि किस तरीके से how are you going to implement the recursion. Now in the 4th unit, what will be your takeaways? This unit is completely dedicated to the object-oriented programming paradigm. So we'll see the abstraction feature, encapsulation feature, inheritance and polymorphism. तो inheritance और polymorphism का I gave you introduction in the lab session also, but इसको detail में कैसे implement करते हैं, कैसे क्या करते हैं, that we'll see in the unit 4. And in unit 5, the most important thing we are going to handle. So there are 2 things that we are going to handle in unit 5. One is the error handling. So the most important feature of the Java language is it is a very robust language. So if you are having a syntax error, so obviously every language will tell you ki what kind of syntax error you have done. So compiler will tell you everything. But in Java, you can have the runtime error also. I mean, as a programmer, you can assume that in this particular statement, the client can make the mistake. So what you can do, prior hand you can handle those errors so that the client will not get any kind of a stupid message or your software will not hang for any case. So इस तरीके की handling, इसको हम कहते हैं exception handling, runtime error handling, that you can do in the Java. That we'll see how to do it. Fine. And apart from that, we will design the interfaces. Interfaces के through we'll design the polymorphism also. So interfaces हम बना करके देखेंगे और इसका real time implementation भी देखेंगे कि किस तरीके से आप इसको real time में use करते हैं. Now next और last thing हम जो देखेंगे unit 5 में, वो हम देखेंगे by using different type of library classes how you can use input and output methods, right? तो मैंने कल के सेक्शन की लैब ली थी, सेक्शन बी की लैब ली थी, and we have discussed the command line arguments. Remember section B? सेक्शन बी, मैंने कल इनपुट लेने का एक मेथड आपसे डिस्कस किया था, कमांड लाइन आर्ग्यूमेंट्स, राइट? सो दैट इज द डिफॉल्ट मेथड इन जावा, बट अपार्ट फ्रॉम कमांड लाइन आर्ग्यूमेंट्स यू हैव सर्टेन लाइब्रेरीज थ्रू विच यू कैन टेक द इनपुट. जैसे अगर आपने जावा लैंग्वेज पढ़ी है तो आपने स्कैनर क्लास पढ़ी हुई होगी, पढ़ी है किसी ने?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
है ना? So it is also a library. It is also a predefined library in Java through which you can take the input from the user. In the similar way, we have other libraries also like buffer reader, input stream reader, input stream class. So these are the classes that we are going to study in the unit 5. But if time allows, I'll go in the detail. If time doesn't allow, then we'll take it in the brief. But yes, exception handling I'm going to tell you in very detailed manner. Fine. So these are the takeaways of your syllabus, whole syllabus. So 5 units are there and I've briefed you what are the takeaways of each unit. You can call it course outcome also. So is there any problem in the syllabus? Syllabus का detailing आपको नीचे मिल जाएगा. Okay. Now this is the textbook that we are going to follow. And I've already uploaded the soft copy of the textbook in the book section. आप files पे book folder मिलेगा, वहाँ पे जाकर के आप इस textbook को download कर सकते हैं. And there is one reference book, which is the universal reference book, Java Complete Reference by Hobart Shield. And this is the best book of Java for starting the Java. Especially if you are starting with the core Java, then this is the best book. In fact, if you wish to have the JCP certification, first certification, then this is the perfect book to study with the core Java. Fine. So these 2 books are there in the book section. You can download it from there. Now discuss about the evaluation scheme. Your evaluation will be done in the 5 sections. You will have 4 quizzes. आपके पास 4 quiz होंगी, and among those I'm going to consider 3 best quiz. Fine. Then you will be having the continuous lab assessment with the form of the graded lab and Viva. Then you will have a small project after unit 3. So whatever you will learn till unit 3, I'm going to give you a small project that is of 10 marks and you have to complete that project within 10 or 15 days. That I'll let you know. It is also mentioned in your date schedule also. You can see the date when you are going to get the project. तो उसके आसपास ही आपको प्रोजेक्ट मिलेगा. And this is the individual project. This will be the individual project. So you cannot team up. Fine. Then you will be having a midterm exam and end term exam. So this is the marks distribution that you will have in this particular subject. So if there is any confusion in the evaluation scheme, you can ask me. किसी को कुछ पूछना है, कोई कंफ्यूजन है? ऑल्दो ये इवैल्यूएशन स्कीम आप डेटा स्ट्रक्चर और सी में भी फॉलो कर चुके होंगे, तो मेरे हिसाब से कोई कंफ्यूजन होना नहीं चाहिए. बट स्टिल इफ एट एनी पॉइंट इफ यू हैव कंफ्यूजन यू कैन आस्क मी. So this is the syllabus you can download. So I'm going to close it, and these are the instructors associated in this particular subject. So these are taking other sections, and you are from A and B, so both sections taken by me only. So, and in total it is a core subject, that is why it is having 4 credits. So you have to earn good grade in this subject, otherwise the whole CGPA will get down. Fine. So this is all about your syllabus. If you wish to ask anything, you can ask. Otherwise, I'm going to start the basics of the unit 1. Do you wish to ask anything? Anyone, if you have any question, you can ask. So fine, I'm assuming that because I'm not hearing from anyone. So probably you understood everything. So these are the
Ma'am,
PPT. Yes,
ma'am, I have one question.
बोलो.
Ma'am, when I was studying in class 12, I have just read the Java thing ना, and ma'am,
हाँ.
when in ma'am Monday को आपने मेरी क्लास ली थी, उसमें आपने बताया था कि पब्लिक क्लास लेंगे और क्लास का नेम, एंड
हाँ.
हमें स्कूल में ऐसे पढ़ाया था कि मतलब पहले अपना इंपोर्ट जावा वाला फंक्शन, उसके बाद डायरेक्ट क्लास नेम एंड देन पीवीएसएम स्ट्रिंग एआरजीएस.
हाँ.
तो मैम जो आपने बताया था पब्लिक क्लास नेम, तो मैम वो रखना इंपॉर्टेंट है या फिर हम डायरेक्ट क्लास नेम रख सकते हैं?
No, no, you can write the class name directly. Why do we write public? That I'm going to discuss in the theory class. What is the purpose of writing public there?
ओके मैम.
See, everything that you have studied in the lab, I can't tell you the theory part of that. Fine. So that we are going to cover in the theory part. I'll tell you everything. Like in the main function, I've told you that this is the particular syntax that we use. You are from which section, A or B?
मैम सेक्शन ए.
Section A. So in fact in B section I have discussed in very detail, but in A section I have not discussed in the detail, like why do we follow the syntax of the main function. So I'm going to tell you each and everything here, because in placement you have no idea ki how much depth they can ask you from the Java. And basically, if you are strong in the core Java, you can very easily grasp the advanced concept of the Java. So your placement is based on only the concept of core Java. So that is why I am going to tell you each and everything in very detail. And if you feel that कि something is missed, you can stop me there only. Fine? So हम सारी चीजें यहाँ पर डिस्कस करेंगे. Don't worry about that. और अगर ऐसा लगता है कि मैंने कुछ स्किप कर दिया है, तो आप मुझे वहाँ पे बता दीजिएगा. So I'll note down that thing and I'll cover in the next lecture. ठीक है?
यस.
Okay. So this is these are the PPTs that I have taken from the resources of your textbook, that is Daniel Land. So these PPTs I will upload after unit 1 in your notes section. Files में ही notes का एक folder बनाऊंगी, वहाँ पर ये मैं डाल दूंगी. And apart from that, there are certain PPTs I'm going to use that I will also share with you. Fine? Okay. So these are the complete book PPTs. I have made certain changes in these PPTs. So what things we are going to cover? So we'll take the whole overview of the syllabus. I'm sorry, unit 1. What is there in the unit 1? So we'll start with the computers. These things I'm going to take in a speed up. If you think that my speed is very fast, so you can stop me there. I'll slow down. Fine. So what is computer? Computer is basically made up of certain devices. The main devices are CPU, memory, communication devices, input devices, output devices, and storage devices. We'll take everything one by one. So if I talk about the CPU, the is called as Central Processing Unit, and it consists with 3 parts. The CPU consists with 3 parts. So it has ALU, it has CU, and it has MU. So ALU is basically arithmetic and logic unit, and it is responsible to perform the logical and arithmetic operations. Fine. Then control unit, it is a signal unit which actually collaborate between the attached devices of the CPU. So whatever signal is generated, is required to be generated, or whatever command is required to be given to a particular device is actually given by the control unit. For example, read, write, store, load, all these commands will be given by the control unit. Then memory unit is basically your primary memory, referred as RAM. So this is the memory unit which is also a part of CPU. Fine. So there is a particular measurement of the CPU, or you can say that metrics of the CPU, that is called as speed of the CPU, and it is generally nowadays it is in the form of gigahertz. Fine. So yes, यहाँ पे जैसे एक example दिया हुआ है, if you have Pentium 4 and it is saying that it is 3 gigahertz. So what does it mean? 1 gigahertz is equal to 1000 megahertz. So sequentially you can convert 3 gigahertz. So what is the speed of your system? Fine. So the next device is memory, and memory is of two types: primary memory and secondary memory. So basically when we talk about the primary memory, there are two types of memory: RAM and ROM. So RAM is actually a random access memory, and it is actual a primary memory, but you can read as well as you can write in this memory, but it is a nature of volatile. Now what is the meaning of volatile? Whatever you will write in this memory will retain till your system is on. As soon as you will switch off the system, everything is going to be deleted. Fine. So जब तक आप सिस्टम पे काम कर रहे हो, डेटा मेमोरी में रहेगा. जैसे ही आप सिस्टम को बंद करोगे, आपका जो पूरा डेटा है वो डिलीट हो जाएगा. So why do we require this kind of memory? So whenever you switch on the system, your primary memory starts working, and whatever you see in the monitor is basically because of the primary memory. Like you are seeing this PPT. So where this PPT is stored right now, it is stored in the primary memory. Actually, it was in the secondary memory, but to show you on the monitor, I have loaded it into the primary memory. So whenever you open any file, it gets loaded into the primary memory. Fine. So if your primary memory is not there, you cannot see anything on your monitor. Fine. So primary memory is important to see the contents. Right. Now ROM is, as the name suggests, read-only memory. So whatever you will write in this particular memory will be permanent, and you cannot overwrite it. You can only read it. So what is the purpose of ROM? That we'll see later on. अभी आगे बढ़ेंगे तब देखेंगे what is the purpose of ROM. Fine. Now what about the secondary memory? The primary memory only resists till your system is on. So where will I save the data permanently? So to save the data permanently, you require some extra memory. That is called as secondary memory. So it is in the form of hard disk, CD-ROM, pen drive, USB drive. So any type of flash drive or hard disk you use to save your data permanently comes under the category of secondary memory. Fine. So your memory is of two types. So we were talking about this memory, and this is actually primary memory. And storage devices comes under the category of secondary memory. Fine. So what happens in your memory? Your memory is actually divided in the cells, and every cell has an address. So whenever you store anything in the memory, you work in the high level language, but it is converted into machine level language, and that data is going to be stored in a particular address. So whenever you try to access any data, basically your control unit will generate the address for that particular data by searching it, and then it will read that data from that particular address. Fine. So in this way your memory works. So these are the storage devices referred as the secondary memory, where you can store your data permanently, and obviously it is a read and write device, which means you can read as well as you can write into the memory. Okay. Now the next is output devices, and monitor and printer comes under the category of output devices, which are used to generate the soft copy of data, and hard copy of data. So what is soft and hard copy? When you see data on the monitor, it is soft copy, and when you can take the print in the hand, physically if data is available, then it is hard copy. Fine. Then you have a monitor. So monitor is basically provides the soft copy of the data, and different sizes and different resolutions are present. So you can see the slide. The minimum size available is 14 inch, although यहाँ पर 15 inch लिखा हुआ है, but nowadays आपको 14 inch का monitor भी मिल जाएगा. Then you have communication devices. So what is communication devices? Suppose these are 3 computers in the lab, and I wish that these computers can communicate with each other. So what I require the communication device. So what will I do? I will install the centralized device. Now this centralized device can be called as hub. It can be a modem. It can be a switch. It can be a router. These are the centralized communication device, or you can say that data generation devices. Your devices, your computers will be attached to this centralized device, and every device is going to have a connector. Every device is going to have a connector, and this connector is called as NIC. NIC का full form है Network Interface Card. Network Interface Card. जैसे आप डिश टीवी लगाते हो तो यू गेट अ केबल, एंड केबल के दूसरे पॉइंट पर जहां पर आपकी टीवी अटैच जिससे आप करते हो, देयर इज अ कनेक्टर. अगर वो कनेक्टर नहीं होगा, यू कांट कनेक्ट दैट केबल विद योर टेलीविजन. इन द सिमिलर वे you have NIC. NIC is a small chip that you require to be installed in your computer, and from there you can connect your cable, and the second part of the cable will be connected with this communication device, and your communication device can be of 4 type. It can be a switch, router, hub, modem. Depends कि आपको किस तरीके का communication करना है. Like आपको वायरलेस कम्युनिकेशन करना है, आपको वायर्ड कम्युनिकेशन करना है, आपको किस तरीके का कम्युनिकेशन करना है. So accordingly you will install this device. So these are the communication devices. Then we have programs. So basically you have 2 things in your computer: software and hardware. Software and hardware. So hardware are the physical components like CPU, cables, monitor, printer. All these are hardware components. Physically you can touch these things. Fine. Now come to the software. Software is basically a program for which you can feel the output, what is generated, but you can't touch it. You can't touch it physically. So program is what? It is a set of instructions. Now can anybody tell me what are the types of the software? How many types of softwares are there? What are the categories of the software?
Operating software, application software.
So
Ma'am,
basically,
system software and application software.
right. So system software and application software. So we can broadly categorize software in 2 categories: system software and application software. So system softwares are the software which are required to run your system, and application softwares are the software which provides you facility to work with a particular application. For example, if I wish to maintain the account, I can have Tally on my computer. Using Tally, I can maintain my accounts, but I cannot type the application with the Tally. So for what I will install MS Word. Right. So application softwares are the softwares which are used to work with a particular application, to solve a particular purpose. Fine. And these are not the software without that your system will work or will not work. So your system doesn't require application software, but yes, if you wish to work with a particular application, then you have to install that application software. But your system will not work if you do not have the system software. So what are the system software? So first category of system software is the operating system. Then we have the second category of the software, that is called as firmware. And there is a third category of the system software, that is called as translators. Fine. So let's move ahead. So yes, this is the introduction of the programming language. I've told you that the program is a set of instructions, and for this instruction you require a language. Fine. For writing the instructions you require a language. Your language can be of three types: machine language, assembly language, and high level language. If you have attended my lab, I have already explained these three languages. Fine. So high level language is near to the English language. Java is a high level language. Assembly language is near to the CPU. When you are working directly with the CPU through the program, then the language is called as assembly language. It is also called as embedded language or low level language. Fine. And the machine language is in the form of 0 and 1 on which your computer works. So whatever language you are using, whether high level language or low level language, you have to convert this language into the machine level language. Fine. So इसको डिस्कस कर लेते हैं। पहले मैंने आपको बताया there are three type of system software: ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम, फर्मवेयर एंड ट्रांसलेटर। तो हम ट्रांसलेटर से शुरू करते हैं क्योंकि हम लैंग्वेज की बात कर रहे हैं। If I'm working with the high level language, then I have to convert this language program into machine language. And if I'm working with the assembly language, then also I need to convert my program into the machine level language. So there are three type of translators available: compiler, second software is called as interpreter, and third software is called as assembler. Fine. So assembler is a software which is used to convert your assembly language program into machine level language. See the diagram. I have written the code in the assembly language. Assembler is a system software, that is a translator. Which is going to be converted your assembly language program into the machine level language. Fine. Then we have high level language. To convert the high level language into machine level language, we have two type of translator: compiler and interpreter. So basically compiler will convert the whole program at once into the machine level language. Suppose my program is containing 10 lines. So it will contain all 10 lines into the machine level language. Then it will give you error line wise, like one line में ये error करी है, third में ये करी है, four में ये करी है. But interpreter will do one by one task. It will convert first line. If there is any problem in the first line, it will give you the error of the first line, and it won't go to the second line till you will not remove the error of the first line. Which means एक एक लाइन को fully convert करेगा. जब आप उसकी error को remove कर दोगे, then it will translate the second line, then third line, then fourth line. Fine. Who is going to tell me किसकी speed fast होगी, compiler की या interpreter की?
हम compiler
की. Because okay, and you have studied C language. The C language uses what translator, compiler or interpreter?
हम compiler.
Compiler. Fine. Okay. So compiler translator use करता है आपका C language. Now who is going to tell me a real world application software on the concept of the system software translator? System software translator जो compiler, interpreter और assembler बताए, इसको बेस लेकर के कोई एप्लीकेशन सॉफ्टवेयर जो रियल वर्ल्ड में यूज होता है, एप्लीकेशन सॉफ्टवेयर जो इसको बेस लेकर के बनाया गया, इसका कॉन्सेप्ट लेके बनाया गया है.
Ma'am, MS Word or like Grammarly, the spell checking apps.
Beta, translator. I'm talking about the translator. By using the concept of compiler, interpreter, and assembler translator, is there any application software in the real world which uses as the translator? कोई एप्लीकेशन सॉफ्टवेयर देखा है जो ट्रांसलेटर के कॉन्सेप्ट पे बना हुआ है? एक्चुअली आपका ट्रांसलेटर कर क्या रहा है? इट इज कन्वर्टिंग वन लैंग्वेज इनटू अनदर लैंग्वेज.
Microsoft Word,
अरे
Visual Studio Code,
ये ट्रांसलेटर्स हैं.
Google Translator.
Google Translate.
Yes. Suppose you are using a device which is converting your Hindi language into English language, English language into Chinese language, Chinese language into Japanese language. होते हैं ऐसे translating applications या नहीं?
yes ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
There are devices which are used to convert one language into another language. So basically these devices are created or these devices are developed by using the concept of the system software, compiler, interpreter and assembler. इन्हीं के concept को use करके translators बनाए जाते हैं. Fine? Okay. So आगे बढ़ते हैं. हाई लेवल लैंग्वेज के कुछ एग्जांपल्स दिए हुए हैं जिनमें से मेरे ख्याल से आपने सी लैंग्वेज पढ़ ली अभी तक. C++ कुछ लोगों ने पढ़ी हुई होगी और जावा अब आप पढ़ने जा रहे हो. फाइन. ओके, सो ये कंपाइलर का ब्लॉक डायग्राम है. यू हैव अ सोर्स फाइल इन हाई लेवल लैंग्वेज. When you are using the compiler is going to convert your language into machine level language, but it is not going to be executed by, because in the high level language you must have used some libraries. So to link the library you require a software that is called as linker. Then this machine code and the library code will be combined by the linker and then your program will get executed. Now I'll give you one example. Suppose in C language you have written include stdio.h and after that you have written a main and inside the main you have done the coding. Now who is going to tell me ये जो library है, is this a library file or it is a simple C code?
library file,
It is a library file. तो ये कहाँ पर जाकर के लिंक होगी? ये यहीं से मिलेगी या यहाँ से मिलेगी?
Ma'am, library code
से मिलेगी ma'am.
So the linker will link stdio.h. The linker will link stdio.h with your main program. Then finally your program will be executed. So remember this thing. Linker is a software which is required to link your library files with your machine code, and after that your machine code will convert it into the executable file. तो जब मैंने वहां पर आपको लैब में आपको एक सी लैंग्वेज का प्रोग्राम लेकर के बताया था, आपने test.c बनाया. When you will compile इसका बनेगा test.obj, but when you will execute इसकी फाइल बनेगी test.exe. Now can you tell me लाइब्रेरी कहाँ पर लिंक होगी?
test.obj में.
तो लिंक फाइल कौन सी मिलेगी लाइब्रेरी के साथ? test.obj या text.exe?
Link file test.exe.
exe.
text.exe. So I hope things are clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes ma'am.
Fine. So
Yes.
I'm leaving my lecture over here only. अच्छा, one thing you need to do, आप अपने पोस्ट सेक्शन पे जाइए, कोई एक जन पोस्ट सेक्शन पे जाइए. You can see assignment 0 there. Can you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes ma'am.
So you have to upload this assignment again on the assignment tab. इस पर आपको साइन करना है. What is there in the assignment? कोई खोल के देखिए, ओपन करिए इस असाइनमेंट को और देखिए क्या है.
Ma'am, course description document.
राइट, कोर्स डिस्क्रिप्शन डॉक्यूमेंट आपसे डिस्कस किया, आपको इवैल्यूएशन स्कीम बताई गई या नहीं बताई गई. इफ देयर इज एनी कंफ्यूजन यू कैन राइट डाउन द एक्सप्लेनेशन देयर एंड फाइनली आपको अपनी साइन इमेज लगानी है और इसको वापस से अपलोड कर देना है. फाइन, सो दिस इज योर असाइनमेंट 0 एंड इट इज ओपन टिल 7 o'clock टुडे. और आप इसे फिलहाल ये मान करके चलिए कि आपकी प्रैक्टिस है, सो दैट आप जल्दी जल्दी असाइनमेंट्स को करें और सबमिट करें. So till now, is there any confusion you can ask? Otherwise, I'm going to finish this class.
Ma'am, have you uploaded the course description document in the files?
Yes, go and see that on online. Files में जाओ देख.
I couldn't find it.
Section L में हो ना? Okay. Book, software, class material. Yes, I have not uploaded in your class. Give me 2 minutes. Be online. I'm just uploading it. One of you confirm me.
Please upload the presentation also.
I will upload after finishing the topic. I've already told you this. I'll upload everything. Till then you can have the recording. But I'm not going to upload it PPT right now. Fine. So I'm going to upload it, course description document and date by schedule. Please, anyone check that and confirm me.
Yes, ma'am. It's
It is there.
Loaded, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Date by
Yes,
schedule
ma'am.
भी आ रहा है.
yes, ma'am.
So you can check the holidays and the date by schedule from there. Not exactly same date by schedule चलेगा, थोड़ा बहुत आगे पीछे हो सकती हैं आपकी क्विज और प्रोजेक्ट्स, बट ऑलमोस्ट यही चलेगा आपका. ठीक है? So is there any other query? So if there is no query, you can start leaving the meeting. I've already downloaded the attendance. As per the discussion, after 15 minutes, I've already taken the attendance. So you can leave the meeting.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
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 Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, welcome. Kindly leave the meeting as soon as possible because I have another class to conduct.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, I spoke to you about I messaged you about the problem I was having with the code. Yesterday.
What problem?
Ma'am, it wasn't compiling.
But it was working in the VS Code, right?
Yes, ma'am. When I do like run code on VSK, like normally it's not running. It's giving the same error as the command line. But then when I'm doing run Java, it's a VS Code function. Then it's compiling the code.
It's compiling the code, which means your JDK is not properly mapped. So for that, you have to share your screen. So what will I do? Maybe we can do tomorrow in the first half.
Sure, ma'am. No problem.
So when you are free, I'm free till 9 to 11. So are you free that time?
Yes, ma'am. You can just text me. I'll be available mostly.
Fine. So what you will do, what is your name?
Naman Pokhriyal.
Naman Pokhriyal. But you have to ping me once. Otherwise,
Sure.
I will forget. So you just ping me in between 9 to 11. You share the screen with me and we can solve your problem there only.
Tomorrow, right, ma'am?
Tomorrow.
Sure, ma'am.
But remember, before 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I'll make sure.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, Naman. Anyone else is having a query? Otherwise, please leave the meeting. Leave the meeting as soon as possible.